If you thought international politics was boring, think again. Right now, Iran and the United States are in the middle of a tense standoff. The issue? Nuclear power and, more importantly, nuclear weapons. The stakes could not be higher. The world is watching and every move matters. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has just thrown down the gauntlet. He has rejected a new U.S. nuclear deal proposal. The message from Tehran is loud and clear: Iran will continue to enrich uranium no matter what Washington says. This is not just a disagreement over paperwork, it's a clash of worldviews, trust, and power. Why does this matter to you? Because when two powerful countries fight over nuclear technology, the whole world feels the shockwaves. Oil prices can jump, wars can start, even the safety of people far from Iran can be affected. The world is holding its breath. So let's break down what's happening, why it matters, and what it means for all of us. Because this is not just about Iran and the US, it's about the future of global security, and your future too. Recently, Ayatollah Khamenei gave a fiery speech in Tehran. He stood before crowds, his voice strong and unyielding. He said Iran would not bow to Western bullying. He accused the US of making unfair demands. He made it clear, Iran will keep enriching uranium. The message was meant for both Iranians and the world. The US proposal, which Khamenei rejected, was supposed to limit Iran's nuclear program. America offered to lift some sanctions if Iran agreed to strict limits on uranium enrichment. The deal also included more inspections by international watchdogs. But Khamenei said no. He called the offer deceitful and humiliating. Why did he reject it? Khamenei says the West cannot be trusted. He believes the US will break promises just like before. He also insists that Iran has the right to peaceful nuclear technology. For him, this is about pride, independence, and resisting outside pressure. This speech wasn't just words, it was a signal. Iran will not back down. The nuclear standoff is far from over, and the world is now on edge, waiting to see what happens next. Let's get scientific, but keep it simple. Uranium enrichment is a process. It turns natural uranium into fuel for nuclear power plants, or if pushed further, into material for nuclear bombs. Most uranium found in nature can't be used for energy or weapons. It needs to be enriched or concentrated. Iran says it needs enriched uranium for peaceful reasons. It wants to generate electricity and make medical isotopes. But there's a catch. The same technology used for peaceful purposes can also be used to make nuclear weapons. That's why the world is worried. The more you enrich uranium, the more dangerous it becomes. Low-enriched uranium can power a city. Highly enriched uranium can destroy a city. This is why the international community keeps a close eye on Iran's nuclear program. Iran insists it is not building a bomb, but many countries do not believe them. That's why enrichment is such a hot topic. It's not just about science, it's about trust, fear, and the possibility of war. The world did not waste time reacting to Khamenei's speech. Israel, Iran's longtime enemy, sounded the alarm. Israeli leaders warned that Iran is getting too close to building a bomb. They say they will do whatever it takes to stop Iran from going nuclear. This could mean cyber attacks, sabotage, or even military strikes. The Gulf states, like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, are also worried. They fear a nuclear Iran could dominate the region. Some even talk about starting their own nuclear programs if Iran goes too far. The risk of a nuclear arms race in the Middle East is real, and honestly, terrifying. The United States is frustrated and anxious. American officials say they want a peaceful solution, but they are running out of patience. They warn that all options are on the table, hinting at possible military action. Other world powers like Russia and China are watching closely. They have their own interests in the region. Everyone agrees on one thing: an unstable Iran is a danger to the world. But really, no one agrees on how to fix it. This isn't the first time Iran and the West have tried to make a deal. In 2015, after years of talks, they signed the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA. Iran agreed to limit its nuclear program. In return, the United States and others lifted tough economic sanctions. For a while, things looked hopeful. But in 2018, President Donald Trump pulled the United States out of the deal. He said it was the worst deal ever. Sanctions came back, and Iran slowly restarted its nuclear work. Trust between Iran and the West was shattered. Many Iranians felt betrayed. They had given up a lot but got little in return. Since then, talks have failed again and again. Each side blames the other. Iran says the West never keeps its word. The United States says Iran cheats and hides things. This cycle of hope and disappointment has made everyone more suspicious. It's kind of like a bad relationship. Both sides remember every broken promise. Now, neither wants to take the first step. This history of failure is why Khamenei says no deal today. And honestly, it's why the world is so nervous about what happens next. So, how close is Iran to making a nuclear weapon? Experts say Iran has enriched uranium to levels just below what is needed for a bomb. With current technology, it could make enough material for a bomb in just a few weeks or months. But building an actual weapon would take longer. It's not just about the uranium. Iran would need to design and test a bomb and make it small enough to fit on a missile. Think of it like baking a cake. Iran has most of the ingredients, and the oven is hot. But the recipe for a nuclear bomb is, well, complicated. It takes time, skill, and secrecy. Still, the world is worried because the ingredients are almost ready. The International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, keeps inspecting Iran's facilities, but Iran has limited their access. This makes it harder to know exactly what is happening. The less the world knows, the more it fears. This is why the nuclear standoff is so dangerous. One wrong move, and things could spiral out of control. The clock is ticking, and honestly, everyone knows it. You might be wondering, how does this affect me? The answer is, in many ways. First, oil prices. Iran is a major oil producer. If conflict breaks out, oil shipments could stop. Prices at the pump could skyrocket. Your daily commute could suddenly cost a lot more. Second, global safety. A nuclear Iran could trigger a new arms race in the Middle East. More countries might try to build their own bombs. The risk of war would go up. Terrorist groups might try to get their hands on nuclear material. The world would become a much more dangerous place. Finally, world peace. This crisis tests the ability of countries to solve problems without violence. It shows how fragile trust can be, and it reminds us that decisions made far away can have real effects on our lives. So, what should we do? Talk about it. Ask questions. Demand that leaders find peaceful solutions. Because honestly, when it comes to nuclear weapons, the future is just too important to leave to chance.